Okay, I'm remaking a video screenshot for setting up an APA document for lab reports in my class that require that format. So I have started out here with a blank Word document, and since my previous video kind of cut off at the introduction part where I was getting ready to discuss that part of it, um, I'm going to just remake this video for you. So the first thing we'll start out with is every APA document paper has a title page. So there's some information that must go on that title page, and we're going to talk about that first. Um, so if you start out, you're going to create a title page, um, and you decide on a title for your lab report, and you want to make sure that you put that into your lab report properly and everything. And let's say you go to put that in there, and it needs to probably be centered. That would be a great idea. And let's say you type something out. I'm going to copy and paste something just so I can be a little quicker. But let's say you type something out, and this is what you type out right here. And let's say when you type it, it's not in the correct font. Because the default font is not always Times New Roman 12-point font. So you type it, and you need to change that right away once you do type it to Times New Roman 12-point font. So there's a title for the entire lab report or whatever I'm doing. You also want to make sure it's double spaced. If you want to check that, you highlight it all and you right click and you look at the paragraph settings and make sure line spacing is double. Sometimes people do it and have multiple, and you want to change that to make sure that it's double spaced. Okay, so then you have the full thing written out, which includes the title of the investigation or the paper and your name and your affiliation, your school. So yours will be Georgia Northwestern Technical College, Whitfield Murray campus. Now, you have to have a header on all APA documents, all papers that you do for me. So, you have what's called a running head. So that goes in the top up here, but you need to do a couple little things to make sure that you format the whole document correctly. So the first thing is just click up in this header space up there, like double click in it. Choose the option for different first page, like that. So you're going to have a different first page, and then go over and insert a page number at the top of the page to the right, just like this. And then you have to actually type the words running head. The R gets capitalized, and then you write the word running. The word head does not get capitalized. Then you put a colon, and then you need a shortened version of the title, and I'm just going to say that this is the thickness of aluminum foil, or something like that, heavy duty aluminum foil. Don't abbreviate aluminum if this is your report you're doing. And then you can tab a couple of times, or maybe once for me. You want to make sure your margins are at 1 inch on each side, like they should be. Now this part is not correctly formatted yet. The first thing is the part of it that's not the running head words, but the part of this title here is all caps. So if you'll highlight that and select it and go to the Home tab, there's a change case selection there, and you can make all that uppercase. And then the next thing is it's not in Times New Roman 12-point font. So click over here and change that all, even including the page number, to Times New Roman 12-point font. Then just to double check yourself, you can highlight this title and go to the Review tab and check your word count. And see how it says characters with spaces and has 51? Then I did this on purpose so I could show you. That's too many. It needs to be 50 or less. So that's 51. Most people may not catch that, but you can rest assured that I'll check it. So I see that and I say, okay, well maybe I just will take out the words heavy duty there and do that, and now I'm good. So make sure that you do that, and then I'm going to go to the next page. So I'm going to use this same shortened title without the words running head. So I'm going to just highlight just that part, and I'm going to copy it. So I'm going to do Control C and copy that part, and then after, click back down here in your title page. I'm going to space it down a couple of times, not directly in the center, maybe a third of the way down the page, and then at the end I'm going to click outside of that or enter so I'm below it, and I'm going to go to the Insert tab and choose Page Break. And then here I'm going to put a new header because I select different first page. So I'm going to click in this header, and I'm going to go to page number, top of page, right, and it'll put a 2 there. And then I'm going to use Control V and paste my part I copied there over, and I'm going to tab until it gets to the margins are correct. And I'm just going to make sure again that it stays in Times New Roman and also 12-point font, just to be sure. So then you click outside of that, and then in the center of the page you type the word abstract, and you'll see that that's not Times New Roman 12-point font again. But you would type your abstract in there, and it needs to be left aligned and not indented. So you would start typing here what your abstract, and then of course you want to make sure when you're done that it's Times New Roman and that the font size is 12-point font when you're done. You also want to make sure that you right click and choose paragraph, and see how it says multiple line spacing, change it to double. Make sure everything in your paper is double spaced. Let's say you type your abstract, and then your abstract gets its own page, and then you go to Insert, another page break, and you're going to be on page 3. This is where you'll start actually typing your introduction to your lab report. And so before you start anything on page 3, the full title that you used in your title on your title page starts it off. So I'm going to copy my whole title there, and I'm going to go to my page 3, and I'm going to center that. So I'm going to go to the center there, and I'm going to Control V to paste that, enter, and I'm going to type the word introduction. And this is actually a part of my paper that gets a bold heading. Let me just put, I'm going to left align, and this is where you would start typing. But you have to indent these paragraphs, so you just have to do a regular, I'm trying to hit a tab button there. The introduction heading it's already in Times New Roman 12-point font. If it wasn't, I would change it, and I'm going to bold that section of the paper. Again, I'm just going to make sure that I define this as double spacing, and it is double spaced, but you would start typing there with your indented paragraph, and you just do the rest of it like a regular paper and follow the instructions for your reference page that are on another screenshot about how to do citations and references. So I figured I would remake that for you just so you could see that one more time, since on the next one and here on out you'll have to do an introduction. But that shows you how to completely set up your first 3 pages and complete your lab report basically. So just make sure that you pay close attention to that and use it every single time.